Today is January 4th, 2023. Should I start over? No. Today is January 4th, 2023, and it is 7 p.m. Public notice. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, public notice of this meeting has been given by the board secretary in the following manner. Posting written notice on the official bulletin board at the Voorhees Township Public Schools Administrative Building on July 6, 2022. Sending written notice to the Courier Post on July 6, 2022. Filing written notice with the clerk of Voorhees Township on July 6, 2022. Posting on the Voorhees Township website on July 6, 2022. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will now read the summary of the election results. At the general election held on November 8, 2022, the legal voters of the Township of Voorhees School District elected 3 members for a full 3-year terms and 1 member for an unexpired 2-year term, as shown below, which I will read off the results. Julie Kedover received 4,825 votes for an unexpired 2-year term. Jacob Rosner received 4,098 votes for a 3-year term. Maureen Rudder received 4,288 votes for a 3-year term. Julianne Birdie received 4,496 votes for a 3-year term. We will now swear in the new members. Frank Cavallo will do the swearing in.
You guys want to go down here?
Each of you should have your swearing in form, your oath of office in front of you.
You're gonna do one at a time.
Can you do one at a time?
We're gonna do, yeah, one at a time so that you guys can be with your family.
There you go.
You can come.
Oh.
I don't want to be in the background. These pictures.
Just in time.
Okay, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name,
I, Jacob Rosner,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and this state
and this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I state your full name,
I, Jacob Rosner,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
am not disqualified as a voter
am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS 19:4-1.
pursuant to RS 19:4-1.
I am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense
I am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense
listed in NJSA 18A:12-1,
listed in NJSA 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform all the duties of that office
and justly perform all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of
So
my
help me
ability.
God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name,
I, Maureen Rudder,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I state your full name,
I, Maureen Rutter,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications
that I possess the qualifications
prescribed by law
prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of the Board of Education.
am not disqualified as a voter
I'm not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS
pursuant
19:4-1,
pursuant to RS 19:4-1.
am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense
I'm not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense
listed in NJSA 18A:12-1,
listed in NJSA 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. There's a lot of them.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name,
I, Julianne Birdie,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people.
so help me God.
So help me God.
I state your full name,
I, Julianne Birdie,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess
that I possess
the qualifications prescribed by law
the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of the Board of Education.
am not disqualified as a voter
I'm not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
pursuant to RS 19:4-1.
am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense
I'm not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense
listed in NJSA 18A:12-1,
listed in NJSA 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
You look perfect.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name,
I, Julie Hedover,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and this state
and this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I state your full name,
I, Julie Kedover,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
for the office of member of a Board of Education,
am not disqualified as a voter
am not disqualified as a voter
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
and not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense
am not disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense
listed in NJSA 18A:12-1,
listed in NJSA 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of that office
all the duties of that office
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
If everyone could sign their oath and send it down to Mr. Cavallo, he will also sign it. Okay. All right, I will now call the roll. Jason Bryce.
Here.
Kelly Cosenza. Julie Kedover.
Here.
Dr. Marissa Levy.
Here.
Jacob Brosner.
Here.
Maureen Rudder.
Here.
Randy Stupler.
Here.
Julianne Verdi.
Here.
Monica Watson.
Here.
The next item is election of president. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed something. The next item is code of ethics for board members. I believe each of you should have your code of ethics. You'll need to read that, sign it, and also send that down to me or Mr. Cavallo. Thank you. If you want to give it to us at the end, that's fine too. All right, now we will move on to nominations for board president. So I would like to open up the floor for nominations for board president.
I will nominate Mrs. Watson. Second.
Any other nominations? We'll now vote to close the nominations for board president. Has everyone successfully logged into board docs? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it'll pop up when I open it up. So let's give it a try. All right, so could I have a nomination? Oh, I'm sorry, could I have a motion to close the nominations for president, please?
So moved.
Second.
I'm opening online voting. Hopefully that shows up on your screen. Oh,
Oh, and I hit the button by accident.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
abstain.
do you want a yes?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay.
I hit the shift or something.
It's okay. Uh-oh, it keeps
I'm
going.
sorry
back.
about that.
For some reason, it keeps going back. Mrs. Rudder,
Nothing came up on my screen.
want me to put some, you can just tell me verbally and I'll put it in.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, okay. All right, so everyone votes yes, so we're gonna mark it unanimous. I'm closing online vote. Oh, wait a second. I can't seem to change Mrs. Stupler's. Mrs. Milady, when you do the minutes, do you mind changing Mrs. Stupler's vote from abstain to yes? Because I can't go in and fix it at this point. Thank you.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. All right, so now we will vote for the board president. I will call the roll and you'll just say yes or no. Mr. Bryce? Oh, this is a nomination, sorry, this is voting for Mrs. Watson as board president. Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
Ms. Kedover,
Yes.
Dr. Levy,
Yes.
Mr. Rosner,
Yes.
Mrs. Rudder,
Yes.
Mrs. Stupler,
Yes.
Mrs. Verdi,
Yes.
Mrs. Watson.
Yes.
Motion unanimously passes. Congratulations, Mrs. President, and you may now take over the meeting.
Okay. Nominations, we're going to now open for board vice president. Can I get nominations?
Yes.
I nominate Dr. Marissa Levy for board vice president.
Second. You need a second?
We don't need to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I said that before, but okay, you're right. We don't need a second.
I nominate myself for vice president. I feel like I am very active in the community. I attend every event in the community and the schools. And I'm very supportive, so bring myself out there.
We vote in the order of the nomination, so.
Okay.
But you would have to ask for a motion.
Can I get a motion to close the nominations?
So moved.
Second,
Was that Mrs. Stupler?
yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, online voting is now open, and this is to close the nominations.
Nothing's popping up on my screen for any of us. Yeah.
No, we'll wait, because that's only got fixed anyway. I did not close voting, no. Would you like me to enter something for this one and then we try for the next one? The next
Oh,
one?
There it
there it
is.
is.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, motion unanimously passes to close the nominations. And I will close the voting and I'm going to save it. So now we will go.
So the first vote will be for Dr. Marissa Levy for board vice president.
Mr. Bryce,
Yes.
Ms. Kedover,
Yes.
Dr. Levy,
Yes.
Mr. Rosner,
Yes.
Mrs. Rudder,
Yes.
Mrs. Stupler,
No,
Ms. Verdi,
Yes.
Mrs. Watson.
Yes.
Motion passes 7 yes, 1 no.
Congratulations to Dr. Levy.
I'd like to quickly thank Mrs. Stubler for all of her work in the community and for her efforts in putting forward a good effort this year for the board to come together as one with all of our new members.
thank you, Dr. Levy, and I
Thank
know our board will be in great hands with you. Because you have the children as your priority as well, so thank you for those kind words.
Audience participation. Anyone wishing to address the board, please approach the podium and write your name and address on the login sheet. If you are attending via Zoom, please use the raise your hand feature to be acknowledged. While the board is limited in its ability to respond to the public on matters involving personnel litigation, negotiations, and attorney-client privilege. The board will now hear comments from the public. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. The board will not take action this evening. You will be notified at some later time by letter, electronic mail, telephone, or in the context of a later board meeting of any action the board does take. Yes, please.
Hi, my name is Marlene Kaplan, and first of all, I want to congratulate the 4 new wonderful members of the Voorhees Board of Education. I'm thrilled to see you up there, and I would like to welcome the other 3, 4 of you back, and I'm very excited about this coming school year, and I look forward to wonderful things. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is this limited to just agenda items right now?
Yes. Did I not say that? I'm sorry, you want to know it? It's not. Yeah, I was like, I don't remember saying that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there is only one.
I need to say my name and address.
I guess. You don't have to if you don't want to. That's fine.
I'm Jamie Ostino. Congratulations to all of you on your appointments. I'm very happy for all of you. I'm quite frankly coming here with a personal issue for my daughter, and I wouldn't come unless I was desperate. And I'm airing out some very personal stuff for my daughter, and I need your help. And I wouldn't be here if I hadn't gone so far for the past 6 months and trying to get her what she needs. So I beg you to please listen to me. And I thank everyone who's worked with her, who's met with me. She needs more. My daughter Grace, she was classified by the school system as having a learning disability last winter. I took her for private testing with Dr. Selznick at Cooper, and he diagnosed her as having dyslexia. She also met with Dr. Karen Kelly, who's a renowned neuropsychologist in the area. People know her, love her. She's kind of like the golden standard. They both told me Grace needs to receive the Wilson reading system or another intensive program like it. This program, it's very different. It's specific to kids with learning disabilities, but it's really specific to kids with dyslexia. Many children in the public schools in New Jersey have access to this program and to a Wilson certified instructor. As such, I've been requesting this Wilson reading system with a certified instructor for my daughter since this past summer. Signal Hill is providing Grace a less intensive program. It's called Foundations, and it's intended for children K-3 general education and at-risk students, not for children with significant known disabilities. I have been trying to get the Wilson reading system incorporated into Grace's education at Signal Hill without success. I spent a ton of money and hired an advocate hoping that that would help bring this to my daughter, and that did not. I have letters from her renowned physicians in the field stating that she should absolutely have reading Wilson system or another intensive program. I've had numerous conversations in person and by email with Dr. Allegria and Dr. Hackett, who have been told that they will not provide Grace with this program and instruction unless she isn't making progress or doesn't meet her goals. Grace is making progress, partially due to the fact that she receives private tutoring for 3 to 4.5 hours per week. Even though she is making progress, I know that she could make more progress should she have the Wilson reading system. More importantly, Grace is working so hard outside of school. She wakes up every morning to read for at least 30 minutes. She then goes into her encoding with me. She goes to school, she comes home, she tutors for 3 to 4.5 hours a week. I am asking that the school provide her with a fair and equitable education so that she can have more time to be a child when she comes home. I am asking the Voorhees school system to look at the bigger picture, invest in a more intensive program now, and the children can then move to the general education room down the road. This would benefit both the school system and the children. Research shows that children that don't get out of special ed reading by the end of 3rd grade usually don't at a later date. Grace is also in a special education classroom for math. She's supposed to receive 60 minutes of math instruction a day, just like every other child. Grace's math class, unfortunately, is a combined group of 1st and 2nd graders. The teacher teaches the 1st grade students for the first half an hour, and then she moves to the 2nd grade students for the second half an hour. They do independent work while the other group of students is receiving instruction. In addition to being a combined grade level math class, which is not optimal, and her teachers have voiced many concerns about this, her small group for math is a group of 9 children in total. The state forces you guys to split them should one more child enter this room. Why are we waiting? Grace is not receiving the 60 minutes of math instruction. The 2nd grade teachers have voiced their concerns about this math class to the administration to no avail. They're at a loss. They don't understand why this class is not to be split. Dr. Hackett and Dr. Allegria did observe this class and proved to be an environment that was not optimal. They have a plan to come back, but that has been delayed and reevaluate that classroom. I moved to Voorhees. I want to be in Voorhees. I want my children to be in this community. I love this community. I'm not looking to sue the school. I am not looking to have my daughter go to a private school. I want her to have her education that's going to help her move forward and be, a normal child, not coming home and working so hard. I was so happy for my daughter who's in 5th grade. She's in general education. I have to tell you, I think the world of what we do for general education in Voorhees, but I find that there's a significant discrepancy with regard to special education. Many more things that I can't touch on right here. You have the ability to enact policy that doesn't allow for 2 separate grades to be taught in the same room and time. You also have the ability to look into the resources such as more intensive reading programs for children with learning disabilities and ensure they are offered to our children. I am relying on all of you to help my child. It is absolutely heartbreaking to watch my daughter go through this. My family and I have spent inordinate amounts of time and money trying to help her get what she needs, and we need your help and support. Please help me. Thank you for your time and congratulations.
Thank you. I know I'm breaking rules, but thank you, Ms. Ostino, for being so open and honest and sharing your story. I know you know that we do not take these things lightly and that additional research will be done into this situation. We want all children to thrive. And we want Grace to thrive just as much as all the other children in the district. It's board comments right now. I did want to congratulate all of the new board members. I'm looking forward to serving beside all of you. I'm excited about the diverse perspectives and ideas that all of you will bring to the table. I'm excited about the many discussions and debates I'm sure we will have. I think you all bring such unique experiences to the board, and I think the community and the district will only thrive with you guys all at the helm, you men and women. I also want to thank and echo Dr. Levy's words, Ms. Stupler, for being incredibly active. You attend every single event. You ensure that you represent the board as often as you possibly can. You have been incredibly diligent and really asked some fantastic questions to ensure that we're making really strong, informed decisions. I think you are an incredibly valued member of the board, and I look forward to seeing you continue adding a tremendous amount of value. Any other board comments?
Can I go?
Yes.
First of all, thank you, Ms. Watson, for those very kind comments. I do enjoy everything that I attend and being a part of this amazing community. I do also want to echo Mrs. Watson's comments about Mrs. Ostino getting up there and speaking from her heart. So it really touches with me, as I had 2 kids in the special education at Voorhees. I now only have 1 left. So it is a constant struggle, and I totally feel your pain. And I personally cried many tears, still cried many tears for my child. So I do know the pain that you're going through. So it is heard. I can tell you that, I felt a lot of emotion from people sitting next to me. So I do appreciate you putting yourself out there tonight. I know it's not easy to get up and really speak from your heart in front of a bunch of strangers. So I appreciate that, and I hope more people, have that comfort to share their thoughts and their experiences, because I think it is so important for all of us to hear from our community. And I do look forward to working with all the new board members. Should add some new and fresh perspective, which is always great, and some great discussion. Congratulations to Mrs. Watson and Dr. Levy. I know our board will be in great hands with you as our leaders. And I do have one question about an attachment to an agenda item. Can I ask that now or later, or?
You can ask it now.
I wasn't sure if there's a policy. It was under personnel. No disrespect to Dr. Young. I know she's dedicated her time and given our district so much, but is there a policy, as I know she's retiring and well-deserved retirement, but I know she's doing some personal development. Is there a policy? I'm just looking out for fiduciary responsibility to our taxpayers. I wasn't sure if there's a policy for that, against that, or whatever. I was just reviewing all the attachments today.
Could you be more specific as to which item you're?
It was under the personal staff development, whatever, sorry, it was under,
It's under professional development.
thank you. I meant professional, not personal.
Professional day requests.
Yes,
And it's 19.3.
Gotcha.
thank you, Dr. Levy.
Thank you.
Just that as a fiduciary responsibility question, no disrespect to Dr. Young. I'm a big fan, so.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dupler, for that question. So that professional development is to go to Texpo, and it's quite a few staff members attending, including
Yeah, I saw
myself.
that, yeah.
Yes, so Dr. Young is definitely leaving us, unfortunately. She'll be here until June 30th, but up until that point, my expectation is that Dr. Young will continue to help us to make sure our curriculum meets all the State Department needs. And in order to do that, she will continue to have to learn and grow. So I'm not aware of any policy that would prevent someone retiring to go to a workshop, but I want to continue her knowledge base so she can do all the work that is necessary to leave us in great standing as far as our curriculum is concerned.
Okay, it was just a curiosity question. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm done, thank you.
Any other board comments?
I would like to just say that I'd like to personally congratulate each and every one of the new board members. It's definitely going to be an honor to get to know you guys and to experience your greatness as we work together on the board. So I just look forward to that. And please pardon me that I didn't do that earlier. So I just want to take the opportunity to do it right now. And Happy New Year to those who celebrate.
Okay, seeing no additional comments, we will move to interviews for board solicitor and labor council.
Do you mind if I give a little introduction?
Yes, please.
I just wanted to give a little introduction on the RFP process. RFP stands for Request for Proposal. An email went out to the current board members, and then in each person's seat, we left the backup documents that we get emailed out. It gives the background on the process and some other documentation that you can see how the scoring works. For professional services, the contract can only be awarded for 1 year at a time, unlike a bid that could be longer. So professional services every year either has to go out for an RFP or a comparative process is done where you contact other districts to see what they're paying for the services or how the services are going. And then you can just you can award another contract for a year. So at this district, we've been sending out RFPs every year for legal. And the methodology for all RFPs is the scoring criteria is technical, management, and cost, and they're weighted. So you can weight it any way that you want, but the general recommendation is 30%, 30 points technical, 30 points management, 40 points cost. So we use that criteria. And there is also the option of interviewing, but that's not a required option. So again, it's awarded for 1 year, 3 criteria. We advertised, we received proposals. The sealed proposal, the proposals are all sealed. They were opened on December 15th, and then they're evaluated by a committee. Because I'm the business administrator, I'm always on the committee, so I'm one of the 3. So there were 3 people scoring each of our RFPs. And then it's independent. We don't know what each other is doing, and we rate them based on those criteria. And then we submit that to Tricia Milady, who then puts it on a summary schedule and comes up with the average score. And the highest average score typically would get the recommendation to the board. But again, in the proposal itself, it clearly states that the board may, at its option, require respondents of its choice to attend interviews and make presentations to school officials as to clarification regarding their submission. This process may only take place after proposals have been opened and reviewed and prior to completion of the evaluation. So that's where we stand with this. Sometimes the interviews are internal, sometimes they're in public. Last year, the board had requested that we interview all respondents of legal, meaning board solicitor and labor counsel. And so that's what we're doing. We invited all the people that have responded here tonight for a very brief presentation, 5 minutes. And every board member has received the RFP that was submitted. The new members just received them tonight, but otherwise you'll get to see a representative from each of the firms. We have 3 respondents for board solicitor and 3 respondents for labor counsel. We'll call up each firm in alphabetical order, and several of the firms have responded to both. So first would be Capehart and Scatcherd. Second would be Malamut. Third would be Parker McKay, and that's all for board solicitor. But if they could address their labor counsel as well, that would be good, because Malamut did not submit for labor counsel, but Brown and Connery did. So if I could have Brown and Connery come last, that would be great. But Parker, yes. Okay. But Capehart and Scatcherd can go first. Thank you. And Capehart and Scatcherd will be talking about board solicitor and labor counsel.
Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year. My name is Rob Usil. I'm from Capehart and Scatcherd, and I submitted the proposal to the board along with my partner, Simon Dan, who couldn't be here tonight.
I'm sorry, can I interrupt you and have you guys come over to the podium?
Certainly.
That way you're on the screen. Thank you. Sorry about that.
And my partner, Joe Bentley, is with me.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
A lot taller than Sanu Deck.
She has more hair. So you have our proposals. Obviously, we have a short time and you're busy and we're not going to take a lot of your time up. But we're here and we submitted our proposals because we think we could provide quality legal services to this great district and that we could provide value to you in doing that. We have in our school law practice 5 full-time attorneys that are practicing school law, and we are a collaborative bunch, and we bring a lot of expertise to bear. We are an extremely responsive group of attorneys. When you call us, we get us. And we understand that you can't wait for the answer. You need it as soon as possible. And if for some reason you can't get us on at that particular moment, we get back to you as quickly as we possibly can, which is the same day, same morning, a few minutes later usually. We have depth. We have a lot of depth. So if for some reason you should call one of us, and you don't get us, you're gonna get Joe, or you're gonna get Sanu, or Lauren Tedesco, and all of us have the qualifications and the experience to provide quality legal advice to you. One of the things we like to do is we like to educate our clients on various aspects that come up, whether it be special education or discipline, or what other areas they require us to provide some knowledge to them about. And I think all of us, if asked about a particular topic, could immediately chime in and provide that kind of education. And it helps us, it helps you, because it helps avoid problems that you might run into. That really strengthens our cases and our ability to provide representation to you and achieve successful outcomes. So that's our philosophy, providing quality legal services to you, also informing you of the practical side of things, because oftentimes it comes into play when you're making educated decisions about what to do about a particular case or a particular matter. Could be a public relations piece or a business piece that comes combined with the legal aspects of decision making. Joe?
Yeah, sure. With Rob, I'm the co-chair of the school law department. I've been doing this gig for almost 40 years. I'm not going to pretend that I know everything in school law. That'd be kind of a opposite of me. But we have seen, and I've seen a lot of things. And what we've seen is that we think we can provide not only sound legal advice, but also go from that experience that we've had, that we've had a lot of different issues, particularly in the last 3 or 4 years, very difficult issues that you as board members are facing at meetings with the superintendent and dealing with various issues that we've seen on TV and so forth. But we think we bring to you that experience and the common sense of what we have had. And you can hire somebody to go look up what the case law is and what this particular statute says. But I think what we provide is just good counsel of directing you in different places, giving you the risks involved in what your choices are, defending you as best we can if you have to go to litigation, and also trying to advise you so you avoid litigation as much as possible. So that's what I think we bring to the table.
And we practice in all areas of school law, general school law matters. We do special education law, of course, and we both negotiate collective bargaining agreements.
Yeah, if you want us to talk about our labor, because we did put in for labor as well. Rob and I have both been at the table in negotiations for a number of years. We've negotiated all kinds of contracts. We've been in situations where the contract is settled within a couple of meetings. We've been in situations where there's all kinds of people out there with with signs and everything like that. So what I think we bring to the negotiations table, as well as advising you before, is we respect the collective bargaining process. We respect the position of the association. We try to get the best contract that we can for you. We listen to you before we do anything as to what your goals and objectives are. We try to achieve that at the bargaining table with respect. Again, I can be a very fierce negotiator. I can also be a very a negotiator that gets you a contract depending upon what that situation is. But we both have that ability, and we wanted to get you a fair contract. We can give you that as labor negotiator as well.
So we're always looking for opportunities where we can get both parties to find a deal. So we're looking for that. We're always keeping our ear to the ground, because objectives change. The board's objectives change over time. We're aware of that. So we're always listening. Our demeanor, as you can see, is polite, but we can be very firm. And when it comes to special education, we understand that we're representing, we're always representing the board's interest, but that child's interest is the board's interests. And so we always have that in the back of our mind. Any questions for us?
Yes.
I have a question. So you slightly touched on it, about your demeanor. You've seen the atmosphere and environment significantly shift when it comes to board meetings in particular. They can get very, vitriolic, for it to be kind. They get incredibly heated. You have lots of people who can be very angry. How do you lead, as the solicitor when you're helping to advise us throughout those situations?
I can give you a good example how I approached that particular issue. We all know that there was a mask mandate for board meetings. Now, I'm not sure what happened here, but in other districts, there was a concern that people would come to the board meeting without a mask, even though we thought that the executive order said you'd have to have a mask on even at board meetings, not just in school. So we had a lot of meetings with the board president, with the superintendent about how to approach that. When you had someone from the audience, several people from the audience were coming in, picking a fight to say, you know, you're not gonna tell me to put my mask on or else I'm gonna be on video, I'm gonna be on Fox News and so forth. So what we decided to do is we're just not gonna urge people to wear their masks. We're going to urge them again to wear a mask, but if they didn't wear the mask, we weren't gonna take the bait. We weren't gonna allow them to become viral. So we just kind of just let it pass for that particular time. And that took away a lot of the emotion, a lot of the adversarialness of the people who didn't want to wear masks. And I think that's a practical approach. We could enforce that. We could tell the police department to remove them, but that wasn't in the best interest of the board in the long term. So we had a lot of discussions beforehand, we had a lot of planning with this and that, and we decided to take that route, and it ended up we didn't have any problem. No, that's one of the things that we decided to do.
Another example is if there's a process that's happening in public and we are shepherding that process, we prepare the public to know what to expect in the process. And that oftentimes helps, and it reduces tensions. So, I mean, those are some of the strategies we use.
And a lot of the strategies are with you as the board president, because you're in charge of the meeting. And you have to draw that fine line between allowing everyone to express their opinion, sometimes very passionate, sometimes very personal, but you just can't get down and dirty with those particular responses. You can defend yourself. You can defend your administrators, you can defend your teachers and so forth, but you really have to respect the people's right to come up here. The First Amendment, they can express their opinions. Most of the people, unfortunately, do come up and have some kind of concern. We have to show them that you're listening, that you care. You may disagree, but we have to disagree with civility. There was an issue here about the vice president vote. Immediately after that vote, there was civility that was expressed by the board members. That's the kind of a example I think you need to send to the audience as well.
And then sometimes something will come up, it'll be controversial, and the board would like to respond to that. We help the board structure what that response is going to be. Could be a statement, something along those lines. So those are the kinds of things we bring to bear.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Malamut and Associates? Do we have a representative from Malamut? Okay, I guess we'll move on to the next one. Parker McKay, please.
Thank you all for having me. I always like to talk about Parker McKay, not me. So Parker McKay is a very old law firm. It's been around over 100 years. The school law department is one of the main departments within the firm. And we're a team. We team up with not only the folks in our department, but the folks that are in the other departments. Makes us unique amongst anybody you're going to talk to tonight is the fact that we can handle with expertise every single issue. I'm a school attorney. I represent school districts. I do labor negotiations. I do, Board of Education, meetings. But I have somebody, a partner of mine, Rick Hunt, who handles all the construction related matters. I can do that. I've done it before. I've been doing this for over 30 years. But he's got that expertise that I can rely on, that I know that Mrs. Haley and her staff can rely on. When it comes to special education matters, I've represented school districts in special education matters. But I have a partner, Brett Gorman, who has developed a particular niche in representing school districts in special education matters. I agree with the philosophy of my colleagues in terms of, we represent the school district, but we also care about the kid. And we have to come to agreements that are beneficial to the child, that we always can't lose sight of that. And Brett and his team of people that work for him are very adept at that. When there's an Oprah issue, I can do that. But I have a colleague, a partner, George Morris, who lectures throughout the state on Oprah issues. So I feel the district is in way better hands with George. I know HIB issues, I can handle those, but I have Alicia Dianella, who's come to some of your meetings, who wanted to be here tonight, actually, and apologizes for not. She had another meeting, but Alicia has developed an expertise in that area, along with what else she does for our clients. So I think that's something that's unique about Parkland McKay. I've enjoyed the past 2 years of working with you all. We've been through some difficult times with the public and board meetings. I'm hoping that we've weathered those, knock on wood, and they don't come back. But and in terms of the labor negotiations, I've done 3 rounds of bargaining here. My philosophy on labor negotiations is relationships. So you have to have a relationship with the other side. When I leave, you may want me to be mean, nasty, go after those people, but when I leave, you're going to be with them. So we can't have that kind of relationship. This is one of the places where the relationship between the board, the administration, and the teaching staff is wonderful. Labor negotiations are not pleasant, because I don't think they ever are pleasant, but they're professional. They are, we go back and forth in a respectful manner with each other. And it has been an enjoyable process. I'm not sure what else you need to know or what else you want me to say, but like I said, I've enjoyed representing the district, and I hope to continue to do so.
Any questions? Thanks.
Thank you. Next would be Brown and Connery LLP. And this is for Labor Council.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
First of all, I have to tell you, my name is Louis Lesson, by the way. I am the individual who signed the proposal for you, as well as I'm actually responsible for all the RFPs that come out of our office. I'm also the one you'll be dealing with directly. And for the new board members, I want to personally welcome you. Yesterday, I was actually up in North Jersey, where I grew up, and one of my oldest friends flipped a town council in North Caldwell. It had never been Democratic, and he won as Democratic mayor and as a Democratic council. And one of our other friends who plays the bagpipes was outside to make a formal event. So hopefully some of that formal formality sort of followed you down here, because I thought it was great to watch everybody, all their families, kids, getting sworn in. You know, from my perspective, there's a lot that I could say that you've heard from the other firms. I think the most important thing that I can share with you is the fact that my colleagues and I spend the time when we're talking about labor issues. It's in essence 2 different things. Are we talking about contractual negotiations, Or are we talking about the day-to-day? You see, at the end of the day, what everybody cares about are the kids. Sometimes that's lost. It's lost because you have that errant teacher. And sometimes some of us end up getting a little bit jaded because what ends up happening is we see the unfortunate side. Now, I heard that you have a wonderful relationship, and there are certainly several districts where we're negotiating where that has been the case. And generally what happens for myself is that we'll get together and decide what is it that we want in your collective bargaining agreements, or what are the pressing issues. And so we sit down and try and work that out. But perhaps the best way to explain the other side, the items that deal with the day-to-day, is to share with you a brief story. My mother, blessed memory, was a middle school principal. My grandmother, blessed memory, the two of them ran the foreign language department at East Orange High School back in the day. And my mother called me up one day and was rather heated and had that principal voice, you know, the one that you can sort of hear down the hallway. And she called me up and said, I have a problem. And I didn't really know exactly how to take that. And she said, I'm here in the district, I've got 200 staff, 1,900 kids in a rancher. I'm opposed to school great adventure. We have lockdowns because tigers get out, not because people are coming into the building. And they just filed this lawsuit by a particular teacher against the district for racial discrimination and named me as the building principal. And she went on for about 5 minutes. And I finally stopped her and I said, Mom, you have to understand the distinction here. You are an educator. That's what you do. You have just stepped into my world. Relax. And I took her through the process of trying to make sure she understood what the complaint meant, what she needed to achieve, and how to avoid an additional claim for retaliation later. All of that actually ended up being very successful because she ended up out of the case. And at a certain point, I actually got a thank you, which was kind of cool. I could go through all the stuff that's in my materials, but frankly, I don't want to take your time because I know you have other things to do. All I will tell you is that at the end of the day, what is most concerning to me are the kids in the district and how to best serve them on your behalf. Any questions?
I'd like to ask the same question that I asked the Capehart firm. Obviously, I didn't ask the Parker McKay because he serves as our current board solicitor. But how would you handle, again, the kind of heightened environment at board meetings? How would you help shepherd us through that process when there is some animosity, some anger, some heated discussions that happen at the board meetings?
He's actually labor counsel though.
Oh, I
Yeah, so it's a
forgot.
little
So
bit
board,
different.
right. I
So
forgot that you
assuming
only.
that if that's gonna happen, it's gonna be because the NJEA has red t-shirts outside of people picketing, or perhaps there's a
Same,
rat and I
yes,
asked if you got a Garfield cat, which
Yes.
I wasn't using, by the way.
Or when we're negotiating, same thing. Yes.
Right. A lot of this, and so much of it ends up being an issue of, as was mentioned before, relationships and how you address the other side. One can disagree and still move forward. The advantage of having a labor negotiator that doesn't work here is that you can't ever be the bad guy because you work with everybody, whether it be volunteer or on staff. The advantage of my role is I can be that bad guy. So oftentimes what I'll ask you to do is take a breath, let me deal with it, don't say anything, or try to be as calm as possible. Sometimes that means that there's a prepared statement in advance. But oftentimes it's trying to find the best way in the moment to breathe a bit of relief, if you will. And it becomes one of those things where it's very in the moment. I have certainly had situations where I've walked past security because there have been issues in various districts over the years. I will say that while it's not in our materials, there are additional districts that we've represented and they've done contracts with, as well as investigations that we've had to do on behalf of other folks in other districts as well. And at the end of the day, it's a function of reading the people, understanding what they need, and trying to keep things as calm as possible.
I do have one more question. You, if I'm correct from your RFP, you represent Cherry Hill? Cherry Hill Township.
Yes.
Do you foresee any, obviously Voorhees is we're next to each other. There's a lot of interconnectivity. There's a lot of back and forth. I will fully admit I have a sister who works in the Cherry Hill district. I know that those negotiations have been incredibly heated. Do you think that presents any type of a conflict or an issue, from your opinion?
So two things. One, we don't represent the Cherry Hill School District. And two, I am not the individual that does the negotiations of Cherry Hill. So I don't perceive any issue
Okay.
at the moment.
Perfect.
Obviously, if there was, I would certainly bring that to you. But generally speaking, for the kind of stuff we're talking about, it probably won't come up.
Perfect. That was it. Anybody else? Thank you.
I'll take a motion to go into executive.
All right, give me a second to log back in. Can I get a motion to go to executive session?
So moved.
Online voting is open, and this is to go into executive session. This shouldn't be more than half an hour.
Be it resolved that, oh, sorry, let me wait till the voting's finished.
It's not popping up for me, but if you want to just put
So
it
I can,
aye.
okay. Motion unanimously passes. Thank you.
No.
Be it resolved that pursuant to the Open Publics Meeting Act, the public shall be excluded from that portion of the meeting involving discussion of employment contracts. Further resolved that the discussion of such matter in executive session can be disclosed to the public at such time as the board takes formal action. Further resolved that the board may be in executive session. We do not think we will be in for more than 30 minutes, but action will be taken when we return from public session.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you can. That's what I'm looking
That's the
for.
weight.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
it is. I got it. So this is weighted higher. than the
Okay.
rest. I totally understand that. And then the average of all of these makes up the score for one person or one group.
Yeah.
So what I was interested in what makes up the
Oh,
categories.
yeah. And when you look in your, you have time. Go back and look at it.
Yeah, no, I was quickly scrolling.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. Okay, I need to make a motion to return.
I have to open this up, yes. Oh.
Bruce, are we on? Okay. Can I get a motion to return to public session?
So moved.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Need a second or you good?
I need a second.
You got it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, online voting is open.
Did it pop up for you? No? Oh, I didn't. Oh, there it is.
Weird that you're getting those. Oh, no, it's, yeah. Yeah, it's like thinking.
Mr. Rosner's was working?
No, but
Oh, you may have timed out.
Oh.
You have to, usually after, you
I'm
have to log
back
back in.
in. I refreshed.
There you go.
Okay, motion passes.
I just want to make a couple of comments. We want to thank all of the council that has come out this evening. I know it's a lot of work and it's a lot of time and energy, and we appreciate you both submitting an RFP, doing a presentation, attending the board meeting. We appreciate all of the energy and time that goes into that process. With that being said, We're gonna do it a little bit differently this time, only because we had a lot of discussion around how we wanted our legal counsel to look and the new makeup of the board and the dynamics of the board. So we're actually going to be very specific in our motion, and you'll understand in a second. So I am going to make a motion to appoint Alicia Danello as board solicitor and Frank Cavallo as labor counsel. Can I get a, both from Parker McKay?
We're going to do each one separately, so.
Okay.
Board solicitor will be first.
So we'll do the board solicitor. Again, we are specifically asking for an individual from Parker McKay. I'm happy to speak offline with you for various different reasons, but we would like Alicia Danello to serve as our board solicitor from Parker McKay moving forward. Can I get a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Online voting is open. Mrs. Stupler abstains. The rest of the 7 votes are yes. Motion carries.
Can I get a motion to appoint Frank Cavallo as labor from Parker McKay as labor counsel?
So moved.
Second.
Online voting is open. The motion unanimously passes. I'm closing the voting. Oh, for the.
No, for the solicitor and labor counsel.
You can read it now. Just read it as a.
Okay. Be it resolved that Parker McKay will be appointed as board solicitor and labor counsel for the Voorhees Township Board of Education for the period of January 4th, 2023 through the January 2024 board reorganization meeting. Further resolved that this contract is awarded through a request for proposals for professional services with procedures designed to provide a fair and open process in awarding contracts for professional services based on qualifications, merit, and cost effectiveness through accessible advertising as shown on the attachment. Okay. Can I get a motion to appoint Freitag, Weitz, Hopkins, Duffy, PC, FHVT as architect of record?
So moved. Second.
Online voting is open. Motion unanimously passes. I'm closing online voting.
Be it resolved that the firm of Freitag, Weitz, Hopkins, Duffy, PC, FHVD Architects Planners are appointed architect of record for the Voorhees Township Board of Education for the period from January 4th, 2023 through the January 2024 board reorganization meeting. There is an error on the public comment, so that should read to 2024. Further resolved that this contract is awarded through a request for proposals for professional services with procedures designed to provide a fair and open process in awarding contracts for professional services based on qualifications, merit, and cost effectiveness through accessible advertising as shown on the attachment. Can I get a motion to approve Todd Saylor of Bowman and Company LLP as the Voorhees Board of Education auditor?
So moved.
Second.
Online voting is open. Motion unanimously passes. Closing the voting.
Be it resolved that Todd Saylor of Bowen and Company LLP will be appointed auditor for the Voorhees Township Board of Education for the period of January 4th, 2023 through the January 2024 Board Reorganization meeting. Further resolved that this contract is awarded through a request for proposals for professional services with procedures designed to provide a fair and open process in awarding contracts for professional services based on qualifications, merit, and cost effectiveness through accessible advertising. This appointment is made in accordance with NJAC 23-2.2 sub I, requiring the Board of Education to review the peer report of Bowman and Company LLP as shown on the attachment. Can I get a motion to approve the following appointments? Jacob Rosner as a representative to the Camden County Boards Association Executive Committee, Kelly Cosenza as a delegate to the New Jersey School Boards Association, Julie Kedover as an alternate delegate to the New Jersey School Boards Association, Julianne Verdi as a legislative representative to the New Jersey School Boards Association, and Randy Stupler as a representative to the Camden County Educational Services Commission.
So moved with enthusiasm and gratitude for all of your service.
Second.
Online voting is open. Motion unanimously carries. Closing voting.
Board Secretary report.
Okay, I would like to let everyone know about this nice award that we received. On November 30th, we attended the annual JIF dinner, and that's our joint insurance fund. The dinner was held at the mansion in Voorhees, and we were honored to receive the Safety District of the Year Award for 21-22, and that's for in the large district category. It was a real honor to get that, and included with that, we received $8,000. And that's to be used towards safety equipment and so forth. The $8,000 is made up of several awards. There's a safety incentive program, and Mark McNone oversees that. There's like a checklist, and you have to attend every meeting, or you have to hold safety committee training, safety training, and all types of things. So we hit a lot of those targets. So we received the top award there called Elite 2. So we got $3,000 for that. And then there's awards for claims management. And that really is a combination of people reporting something that happened, like say they got hurt at work, they report it right away. And Mrs. Milady reports that into the qual links, it's called, for workers' comp. And sometimes we have a property damage, then we report that too. So the awards for claims management, maintaining a loss ratio below 50% for 21-22, we received $1,000. For maintaining a 5-year average below 50%, another $1,000. Awards for claim processing between 1 to 3 days reporting, $500, and $2,500 for the safety district of the year. So I would like to publicly recognize several people, one being Mark McNone, another Clark Mathis, all of our building foremen who carry out these safety protocols in each of the schools, the custodians, the school nurses, because when a student gets hurt or an employee gets hurt, they are the first ones to see them and report the information to us. Tricia Milady, Danielle Tricano, and Bruce Taylor. And I should add, and they always get embarrassed when I add this, but we're still proud about this. Bruce Taylor received the Cyber Safety Superstar Award in November 2011, and we're very proud of that. And he instituted multi-factor authentication here very early. So even our county business administrator group recognized it, and they want him to do a presentation at our next meeting. So we were very excited about that. And then Mark McNone received the Safety Star of the Year Award for 2020-2021. So we're really proud of these awards. We didn't expect to get anything this year, and when we got Safety District of the Award, we were elated. So that's that. The other thing that I have on my list is something that Danielle is very much involved with, and Danielle works very hard for us to get every grant. Danielle is my assistant business administrator. She's over there in the green. She works very hard to apply for every grant that comes our way to maximize the amount of money that we get. We've been successful every time, which is amazing. Mark McNone works with her too from the procurement standpoint. So between the two of them, they've gotten us a lot of money. This one in particular, and Clark's involved in this one too. This one in particular, we're trying to get money for a new playground over at Osage. And it's for what, $432,000? Okay, yeah. So that's on the agenda a little bit later, and that's to approve us to submit the grant for an award. We have other grants that are up and coming. So at some point, I'll give a report on all the grants from this year because I'm very impressed with it. So thank you for all your hard work on this, and I'm pretty confident that we'll do well. Thank you.
I want to reiterate congratulations to all of the award winners. You make us all very, very proud. You included, Bruce. Superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you so very much. Good evening, Voorhees Township community members, and Happy New Year. And I just also, while we're just embarrassing Mr. Taylor right now, I'll just continue with the trend and say one of my first encounters with Mr. Taylor is I'm presenting to my administrators, and that two-step authentication process really did me in, but it is absolutely a wonderful, very safe feature. So congratulations for all of your work. So I just felt I'll embarrass you a little bit more. I'd like to begin this evening by honoring the memory and legacy of Mr. James Catino, who was a building foreman at E.T. Hamilton Elementary School. Mr. Catino passed away on December 27th. Mr. Catino served as a building foreman at E.T. Hamilton for 3.5 years and worked in our district for almost 5 years. Mr. Catino was known for his great personality and his ability to brighten one's day. I was privileged to have a few brief encounters with Mr. Catino, and in those moments, he encouraged me through his words and his smile. I'd like to read a few excerpts of a message that Mr. Moskowitz, the principal of E.T. Hamilton, wrote to his family. This was a second career for Mr. Catino, who spent many years as a technology person at IBM. His family called the Voorhees home, and his sons went through our public school system. Mr. James, as he was called, was a consummate professional. He was positive, helpful, and kind. Ms. Janine Gosson, who is one of our basic skills teacher and also supervises the kindergarten and first grade lunches at E.T. Hamilton, said the following about Mr. Catino. He was an amazing person, and I know that students, especially our kindergarten and first graders, are going to miss him, opening up their lunch boxes and collecting their bags to recycle every day. The students are going to miss him following them around with his broom and dustpan, making sure the lunchroom was always in tip-top shape. I was truly humbled by the beautiful message that Mr. Moskowitz wrote to his families about Mr. Catino. Please keep Mr. Catino's wife and his 2 sons in your thoughts. And as a district, we are honoring Mr. Catino's memory and legacy through the placement of memorial bunting outside of E.T. Hamilton. And that bunting signifies that we are in mourning, but we're also celebrating his life. So at this time, if we can just have a very brief moment of silence. Thank you very, very much. We're going to miss Mr. Catino. So at this time, I'd like to respond to, there was one question presented at the November board meeting, and I'd like to respond to that question now. That was about a revote on the library book. So the response is there will not be a revote on the VMS library book, The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which was board approved on October 19th to remove from the library at VMS as a result of the book being designated as an interest level for grades 9 to 12. When the vote was taken, it was taken under the current policy 9130, which is public complaints and grievances. So that vote was taken under the current policy. There will be a resolution on the January 23rd agenda, and that resolution will be for first reading of a revised policy 9130. In addition, we will be bringing forth for the first reading a new policy 2530, which is entitled Resource Materials. So we'll be revising 9130, and we will be bringing a new policy 2530 for consideration for first reading at the next board meeting. Okay. I also want to update on the sound system, and I'm pleased to say that it is 90% installed. We have all of the speakers in the ceiling. We're just waiting, which is taking a long time to come in, but we're just waiting for the actual microphones. Once they come in, the sound system for the board meetings will be installed. So I thank everyone for their patience. It's that supply chain is still causing some problems, but we're 90% there. So at this time, I'd like to present my January report. The first topic is the conversation about Diwali as a district holiday for school closure. And my response is the diversity of our community is what makes Voorhees so very special. Our family members celebrate numerous holidays and observances. Just recently, I met with representatives from the Muslim community in regard to their request to add 2 Muslim holidays to our district calendar. As a school district, we are unable to close schools to recognize all of the various holidays that are celebrated among our diverse families. Therefore, my recommendation to the Board of Education at this time is not to add any additional school closure unless there is a state or federal mandate. However, to support the education of our district family in regard to various holidays and observances, we are planning to create a district diversity, equity, and inclusion committee. This committee will be made up of 1 person from each school, administrators, community members, and possibly board members. This committee will work on developing programs and activities to educate all of our students on all of the various cultural holidays and observances. So we will make sure that we put that committee together and to provide the education so that we're all aware. We're sitting next to someone who celebrates something. Everyone should understand and know what that student celebrates and why, okay? An ESL needs assessment is on the agenda tonight, and that's our English as a second language program. Our population of ESL students, and those students whose English is a second language, has increased by 29% when comparing October 2021 to October 2022. So we want to ensure that we are using best practices for our ESL students and that we are preparing for any future increases in enrollment. To this end, a resolution is listed on tonight's agenda for the board to consider. A 2-day ESL needs assessment to take place on January 25th and 26th. This analysis, if approved, will be performed by Up the Bar Achievement, and it will consist of day 1, Up the Bar visiting E.T. Hamilton and Crescent Elementary School, conducting interviews of administrators, ESL teachers, and some select general education teachers, and discussing with our Director of Special Services the process of how ESL students are referred to special education. Then day 2 will consist of a visit to the middle school, reviewing schedules, assessment results, placement and exit procedures, curriculum materials, and then there will be a debriefing and a written feedback so that we are well prepared to move forward with our ESL students. I want to announce that we have 2 parent virtual workshops for this month. On January 10th, Mr. Moskowitz, our principal of E.T. Hamilton, will be presenting the impact of teaching inspirational stories. And that's at 6 o'clock on January 10th, and it is a Zoom workshop, and all of those Zoom links are on the website. On January 25th, Mr. Robert Kramer from Osage Elementary School and Ms. Mary Tadley, also of Osage Elementary School, will be presenting a workshop, Strategies for Addressing Challenging Behaviors. And that's on January 25th at 6 o'clock. Once again, the link to that virtual workshop can be found on our website. I'd like to welcome our new board members, and I am enthusiastic and excited to work with each and every one of you. And I'd just like to conclude this evening by stressing my commitment and the commitment of district administrators, but I hold myself to a much higher standard to make sure that we provide a quality education for each and every child in an environment that is optimal for their learning experience. And as leaders, when we are making decisions, we look at multiple data points. We look at assessment data, we look at interviews, observations, and we make a decision. That decision is fluid though, because as we deal with the progress of students, your decision should be fluid based on how students are performing. Then we go back and we look at more data, and we do more observations, and we do more interviews. And then if we have to make changes to those decisions, we do. But the most important thing is that communication is transparent and ongoing. And that's very important. So I just want to stress that my commitment to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under transportation?
So move.
Second.
Online voting is open.
Also, for our new board members, this would be the time if you do have questions about a particular agenda item, you can raise it now before we actually vote. I just wanted to stress that we hadn't in the past.
Motion unanimously passes.
Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under personnel?
So moved. Second?
Online voting is open. Motion unanimously passes.
Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under new business?
Can I ask a quick question on that?
Yes, of course.
So on the proposal for the consulting firm, it mentions E.T. Hamilton and Signal Hill, not Crescent. Can you just clarify which schools they're going to?
My apologies. When the board resolution was created, it was Signal Hill. We just made the change today that if approved, it would be Crescent. So my apologies, that should have been updated on the agenda.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Are we waiting for someone to approve the motion?
We need someone to make a motion.
Oh, I thought I did. Can I make a motion to approve all of the items under new business?
So moved. Or I'll second.
Online voting is open. The motion unanimously passes.
Our next meeting will be a regular meeting held here on January 23rd, 2023 at 7 PM. Can I get a motion to approve all of the items under finance?
So moved.
Second.
Online voting is open. Motion unanimously passes.
Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So move.
Second.
Just say
All those in favor?
Aye.
motion adjourned. Thank you all for coming.